When it was coming up to my retirement, I couldn't quite decide whether I was going to retire uh, in July or at Christmas, uh, and I really couldn't make my mind up. But eventually, I did make my mind up, and I said, right, I'm going to retire at Christmas, which created a bit of a problem for the school because they prefer people to leave in the summer when students leave in university or college. Uh, but anyway, the problem, we overcame the problem. So the boss came with a plan that I would come off a timetable in the September. Mrs. Stevens, Alison Stevens, who was PE teacher, would observe me teaching for a week or maybe a fortnight. And then after that time, I would observe her teaching. And then for the rest of the time, he said, I'd like you to work in the office and work on resources for the whole of the maths department for the less able, which suited me down to the ground. Loved every minute of it. So that was the plan. So I did my teaching while Alison was observing and then swapped over. And on several occasions, I'd just leave her to her own devices because you don't like somebody watching you 24/7. So I'd walk out and into the office, do a bit of work, and then go back again. And on this occasion, when I walked in, one of the kids said to me, by the way, miss, are you two sisters? And I said, no, we can't be sisters, can we? Because we're both called Mrs. Stevens. And they went, oh yeah, but I don't think they understood. Oh yeah, I said. So as I was walking out, I said, no, no, no. I said, we're both married to the same bloke. We've got 16 kids between us. To which Alison said, get out. Also on my retirement due in the staff room, I actually set up every single member of staff in one way or another, and they had to guess who I was talking about. I told the story of John Maxwell, who, when I first started teaching there, he was a young French teacher or modern languages teacher. And I stopped him in the corridor one day and I said, John, are you hoping to get promotion at some point? So he said, well, yes, eventually. I said, oh, wearing those jumpers every day ain't going to get you nowhere. So he said, so what's your advice? He said, you need to go out and buy a suit. Damn me, he did. He went out and bought a suit. And then, guess what? He got promotion. Maybe I should have been walking around in a suit. You never know, do you? And other members of staff that I set up, Jonathan Croft, who eventually became head of Wilsthorpe, was head of technology, and he had the most weird walk about him. I can't even describe what it was, but I said, and who does this apply to? It's, I'm a lumberjack and I don't care. And Tom said, oh, I think that's probably me. No, it's not Tom, it's Jonathan. And Jonathan, ages afterwards, said, oh, I can't believe you said that about me. I said, well, you do walk like that, don't you? He said, well, yeah, I do, but I didn't expect anybody to notice. Also, when I was setting people up on my retirement speech, one of the things that she still finds hilarious to this day, I was forever sort of pulling faces or pulling a trick on somebody or other. And I always got the response from Maureen Hustings, oh, well, you know, understandable, your special needs. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to get you back. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I am going to get you back. And on the way to uh, London on a school trip, we stopped at Toddington. And there were 5 members of staff. Steve Chapman was one. There was Maureen, me, Keith Butcher, I think, and I can't remember the 5th one. But I just turned to Maureen and said, oh, this is a bit of a shame, isn't it? So she said, what do you mean? I said, well, there's 5 members of staff, and each one of those tables only takes 4 members of staff. So she said, oh, yeah. I said, so somebody's going to be separated, aren't they? Oh, yeah. I said, well, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? So she said, yeah. I said, tell you what, if you move that table from there to join onto this one, we can all sit together, can't we? What I didn't tell her was they were bolted to the floor. She nearly had a hernia. And at the end of that, I said, guess what? Guess who's special needs now?